All right, welcome everybody. This is my ninth episode, and today I have a good one for you guys. I have my first duo, my first couple ever that I've ever brought onto a podcast session, and so today I have Frames by B. So Charles and Brooklyn. Yay! So just a little bit of a background story. We'll start with that on how I crossed paths, how I met you guys. Yeah. So I believe it was the beginning of this year. Yeah. March or when was that?
May.
Was it May?
Because it was her birthday.
Oh, true. In May.
Yeah.
Was it your birthday on that day?
Yeah, on the Friday.
Yeah, it was her birthday. Yeah.
Hey.
Yeah, so she came to work. I kind of.
You sacrificed your birthday to come.
It's all right, man.
That event was Mamana. Yeah, Mamana Academy. I came there to do the shoot with a whole bunch of creators. I'm not too sure if you guys were aware. Were you aware that we were gonna have heaps of creators like that, or
we
You
were made
were?
aware. Yeah, because it was such a big event, and obviously, for them, I think it was to capture as much as we could.
Yeah, yeah.
I think it'd be difficult for maybe even if there was just four of us. But
Yeah.
the more people, the more angles that that could be caught, and if someone missed something, someone else picked it up.
Yeah. That's true. Man, that's a good way of thinking about it. Because mind you, on that day was quite big, but that space there was filled. Hey, so you're right. It would be hard for us to get around to particular shots, and also having the Royal Highness there, like given the restrictions. Given the restrictions, we'll get to that point soon. But yeah, so
If you know.
yeah. But so that was when I met you guys. But that was the actual event. I actually met you guys on the consultation day, I would say, like the day that we actually sat down with them,
yeah.
right, to go through the
True,
day.
yes.
So I remember that was the time. I actually thought it was the actual shoot itself, but then now I'm thinking back, I'm like, no, it was actually the day or the week before. However
I think
early.
it was the week. Yeah.
Yeah.
The week.
So I believe when I came, it was the girls and their mum and you two, and me and the other guy, Chris, was it?
Yep.
From
Endeavour?
Endeavour. Yeah. So it was us four. Yeah. And you had your boys there. I remember. Man, they were really good.
Yeah.
They were like so quiet on the side while we were doing our thing.
Yeah.
But that was the actual first time.
Yeah, it was, yeah.
Now that I think of it, that was
You
it.
got a good memory, Doc.
Yeah. It was only in the moment. Because I actually had to talk about the event for me to wind back a little bit further, and then I was like, oh no, it was actually on that meetup. Yeah. So I met you then, and then I met you guys at the actual event itself, and man, that event was special for me. On my side, it was very special because I've never shot anything for Tonga, like ever. Out of all my years that I've shot, being a creative, that was the first. Yeah, and I remember that time being asked from them when they sent out the email. I told my mom. Yeah, I was like, "Oh, mom, I'm shooting this Tongan dance academy, and the princess of Tonga's coming." And that was what she asked me. She's like, "Oh man, that's good, son." And she's like, "Are you gonna do it?" And I was like, "Oh, what do you think?" I don't know why I asked her that, but she was like, "Oh, you should do it. Like you've never done anything for Tonga. Plus, like." Royalty is gonna be there, so this will be beautiful. And I did, so I was like, okay, I'll go along. But I think I'm just trying to think. I think that I knew there were gonna be some there. I think I didn't know it was gonna be that many. Yeah, I actually thought it was just us and maybe one or two others from the meeting. But I don't. What did you say? 10? Was there about 10 of us creators there, or?
Oh man.
Yeah, maybe
about
close
10.
to 10. Maybe close to 10. You two, yeah. You guys did birthdays.
We were there for 3 days.
So we
Thursday.
yeah. So
Yeah.
we were there to capture the princess as she arrived from the airport, like straight from the plane onwards, and I'm pretty sure we also captured when she also had the I think it was when the different groups of people came and and offered gifts to her and had their meetings. We also captured the first part for Mamana, and even when we weren't there for the first one for Mamana, but then Meleane was there. She was there for that whole night as well.
Yeah, who's Meleane?
She's from Mafana.
Oh, Mafana.
Yeah,
Oh,
yeah.
yes.
Meleane.
Ah, yes. She was there with you guys.
Yeah, she was there.
So you guys were quite involved from the beginning, I'd say. Because I think even when they were doing practices and that, you guys shot a bit there. Was
That
it?
was about last year.
Before.
That was so it was their showcase the year before. So so pretty much we were like, we've been shooting a lot of people lately. Why don't we try and dive into more of our cultures? So so then the only one that I knew at the moment was Mamana. And pretty much I just messaged them and said, hey, is it alright if we can come get a few shots and content, just to kind of showcase, our people. And pretty much from there, then we got their showcase. Yeah. And it was just awesome to see the amount of effort, the amount of time, and especially the skills that the ladies and even the children and everyone involved in Mamana that they had, especially for our for our future generations and stuff.
Man, that's good. Good on you, Charles. Far out for like getting you both into that stuff, like to cover the culture. Yeah. We'll probably touch a little bit more on that as well, hey, like as we go on with this convo today. But before we get there, I just wanted to have like a little bit of an introduction so that everyone's aware of your guys' names and your backgrounds and your upbringing, whatever it may be. So we'll probably start with you, Brooklyn, if that's okay.
Yeah, sure. So my name is Brooklyn. I am a Māori girl from Aotearoa. And I guess I would say I'm maybe the face and photographer of Frames by B. Yeah. I have two beautiful sons, Andy and Jason, who are 6 and 7 now, and yeah, I'd say that's probably who I am. Nice.
Short Brooklyn and yourself, Charles?
Yeah, no, pretty basic. My name's Charles. I'd say that I'm probably more of like the behind the scenes and videographer for Frames by B. Like, she's got the prettier face, so it's much more easier for people to get.
He's the backbone. He's the backbone of Frames by B.
I do a lot of behind the scenes stuff, and a lot of like fault finding, and just making sure that with our photos and videos that it's probably the best that we can get it out at. Other than that, I'm the lucky partner of Brooklyn here, and nice. I'm blessed to have our two sons as well, Andy and Jason.
Yeah, nice. Yeah. So, were you guys? So you're from New Zealand?
Yep.
Were you born and raised there? Obviously.
Yeah.
Whereabouts?
So we all travelled all over New Zealand growing up, but my home is Whatawhata. It's just a small town outside of Hamilton in New Zealand in the North Island. Yeah. So shout out to anybody in Whatawhata. Shout out. I love you guys. And that's where I was raised most of my life. Yeah. I think I moved here to Australia in 2011. Okay. Yeah, we've been here since
2011. Beginning of 2011 or mid?
We moved April 30th. Was the date we became
2011
Aussies.
So that would have been like not long after the floods.
Yeah.
There was floods that the early part of that year.
Yep. I think we moved over just after the floods we moved here.
That's good timing.
Yeah, thank you.
That's really good timing. So, were you in Whatawhata as well in New Zealand?
No. He wishes.
No. I was in Colombia at the time.
Oh, Colombia.
No, I'm joking. So pretty much I was raised I was born in New Zealand, just pretty much came to Australia, I think in 2002.
Oh, so you came way before.
I came before.
Oh, right. Oh, wow. So I came over in 2007. That's when I came over here. So you were here then. You pretty much grew up here. So I would say you'd consider this as home then, if this is all you know. If Australia is all you know. Yeah. When did you guys meet?
We met in high school. So we were
over here.
Here.
The coolest school, you know.
What's
Marsden.
Marsden.
MCDG, you know it.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. So you met from there. And then
we're 11 years. We just hit our 11 years together on Sunday.
I saw that.
So
Congratulations!
Thanks, man.
Congratulations!
We actually it's actually funny how we actually first met. So we used to actually we actually were in the school's dance crew, you'd say it,
in Marsden.
Yeah. So you know. So we pretty much, met at a dance group, but we always walk past each other.
Yeah.
You know, we'll say hi, but we never really think, like we were two different people, you know. And like, you know, I hung out with my group, she hung out with hers. And we kind of, I would say, well, at least for myself, I'd be like, oh, you know, she's pretty, but that's where it ended.
Yeah.
And then we won.
Are you shy or something?
Not really shy.
Two different worlds.
Oh, yeah. Oh, just...
And then pretty much what would say? We won our first dance competition for that year. Yeah. And just after we won, we had a celebration at the park just behind the Logan Hospital, that massive one.
Yeah.
And I wasn't meant to go because we had a relative who just passed away.
But right.
Yeah, but you know, with us Tongans, if someone passes away, there's no celebration at all.
Yeah.
And so at the
timing, eh?
Yeah, the timing. And so at the time, my mom, you know, she was very considerate. You know, she saw that me and my sister, we really want to be with our crew who we just, you know, we spent all this time practicing with. And then we ended up getting to go. And, you know, we got there and, you know, Brooklyn was just sitting down, her friends, they went somewhere else. And then, you know, and then my sister and my friends, then they went somewhere else, and it was just us two, just pretty much just like standing there, like, you know. Now
he was trying to ride a skateboard, like he was trying to.
Thank you. That's what I did.
Not just standing there. He was trying to ride someone's, like, what are they? Penny boards, and he was holding onto the pole, trying to learn how to skateboard. And I was like,
wait, name me one Tongan skateboarder. We don't skateboard. You know, she was sitting down playing on her iPad, and I was like, oh, I'll see if I can get her attention, you know. Get her attention, right? This skateboard looks like something she'll be into. Bro, I was riding it, and I could already tell she would probably be thinking, and this guy doesn't know how to ride a skateboard.
No idea.
And then I was like, oh, you know what? I'm actually going to go and sit down and probably just say hi, you know. No harm can come from it. And so snatched the iPad off her, and pretty much she was playing. Do you remember the game Tap Tap? You know?
Tap.
Oh, Shana, did you own an iPhone back then?
Yeah.
Oh.
Is that a bird?
No,
it's like Tap Tap.
No, that's Flappy Bird.
Yeah. Oh.
So Tap Tap's the game. It's like the music one where I think there was like three. Was it three? And like,
it's like Guitar Hero but on a phone.
Yeah. Right.
Yeah. So she was playing that, and pretty much, you know, I thought I was good at it because like I played it heaps, and I was like, I'm the best at this game. No one can beat me. So then I told her, oh, I'll verse you. And she was like, okay, bro. So after the first game, I was like, nah, I think your iPad's broken. And then she was like, oh, okay. And I said, verse me again. But I picked the hardest song. I was like, sure, this can't beat me. by 2-0. I was like, oh.
Assessed you.
Yeah. And then I asked her, how are you beating me? And then, bro, she still to this day has not told me how.
That was a tough one, eh?
You
That
just
game.
like-
It sounds like it was a very tough game.
This game's unfair. It's, you know, and then I just sat down and pretty much just started talking, and I did those ones. You know, got home, added it on Facebook. Those ones. After maybe a few messages, sent a love heart. And then
Wow, this is
you know how it is. And then, you know, she sent one back, and I was like, yes, it's working. And then I sent one back, and then she didn't send it. I was like, oh.
Keep them wanting more, ladies. Keep them wanting more.
Man, thank goodness for social media though. Back then, like the whole connection game was different. Hey, like that's kind of like how it is. Say hi, and then you just look them up later on. Far out. Oh, that's awesome, man. And so fast forward to now, like you guys are where you guys are at now. When did the creative side kind of start for you guys?
It was Charles who started it first.
You?
So I think with Charles, he was just he was working his butt off. Like we were a young family. We had our boys at only 19. Like we had our first child, and then I think I was only 20 when I had our second child. So he was working his butt off so much. And we wanted something on the side, so he was working.
Yeah. So pretty much like in short,
What were you doing for work?
so I was doing landmarking at the time.
Line marking.
Yeah, so painting like roads and car parks and stuff. So pretty much, you know, just like any other young father, what you wanted to do was, you know, you wanted to provide. And some strange reason, you know, my mum always managed to get me like a nice phone. Like we grew up poor, but my mum always managed to get me like a nice phone. Like I started with the iPhone 3GS.
Right.
And so in high school, I wasn't much of a fighter. Like I couldn't fight. Not gonna lie, disclaimer, I couldn't fight. So shout out to my Doc Ross. You know, every time someone scrapped me out, he'd be like, "Oh yeah, I'll take you on it." Yeah, but I always like, cause I always had the nice phone.
Yeah.
The boys always go, "Hey Charles, can you come with us to record our fights?" And then pretty much fast forward a few years, and you know, I got a collection of all the boys' fights from back in the days, and.
True.
And like I've always thought, how can I make their fights look good for YouTube? You know.
Yeah.
And, you know, we gotta rep M City. You know, can't. But if we lost, I'll be like, yeah, no, don't share it. But we rarely did though. Not gonna lie. Nah. You know, I just pretty much just Googled what's something good for a side gig.
Yeah.
And once again,
true.
lawn mowing came up, and I was like, oh, great. And then and then on the list was photography. And I was like, wait, you know, let me dive into it, you know. You know, so then, you know, we pretty much, you know, we're like, let's just buy a cheap camera and just start from there. So we started with a Nikon D3
400.
Yeah.
It was D3 400
Yeah.
we started with.
Oh yeah,
What year are we talking now?
maybe like
2020.
when we in Singapore.
Oh,
Yeah.
COVID.
20. Yeah,
Oh,
it was
yeah,
around
COVID.
COVID.
Yeah,
Just
Yeah.
COVID.
it was
Yeah,
COVID.
yeah.
That was another massive push.
Yeah.
Because you know, with like staying at home, like I was like, man, I need to learn something as well.
Yeah.
So then, yeah.
And that was the time, man. If there was any time, that would be the time.
Yeah, that was
So,
the time
yeah,
for
so
us.
true.
people were selling their camera gear for cheap, especially a lot of
Yes.
people starting out. They were like, oh, no, I can't do things themselves. So we pretty much picked up like a real good deal. And then pretty much fast
Saved
forward.
a little and got our tax returns, and that's what we
Yeah.
really bought was some
That's clutch, eh?
camera gear. Thank you, tax return.
Yeah, that's it. So you guys got that camera. Did you start using it first, Charles, or you, Brooke? Or how did it go?
I would say Charles started using it first, and he would stay up like
Yeah.
all night learning everything about the camera. He would learn about what's gonna make the photo look the best, I think. And he stayed up so many nights just researching.
Yeah.
And then it came a time where he was sort of, where are we going with this? He was doing photos, and we started just starting off with family sessions, I think.
Yeah,
and then, and then he.
Oh, you started shooting with the camera, eh?
Yeah, with this.
You actually
cheap
started-
Of
camera,
course,
bro.
our kids like were our models. There
And
came a
that's the
time when
best.
they hated
Yeah,
the camera.
yeah.
When we put it up, they're like, "No!" and then run off, sort of.
And what would you guys do? Would you take the kids to the park? Is that how you guys set it up and then take photos of them there? Or will you actually go in and posing them?
You're shooting COVID. Like we had to do
Oh,
it at home.
true.
Yeah,
They
we
were
did that.
stuck
True, I
with us,
forgot.
so we were like, "Sorry, boys, you gotta
yes.
be models."
Yeah,
And
and
we-
bubbles.
Yeah.
We just practiced with bubbles and
Yeah.
random whatever we had. And then so he learned first, and then he taught me everything that he knew. So I gotta give the knowledge. Like the knowledge came from him. That's what I know.
Yeah.
And that's,
So it should be like frames by Charles, eh?
how many times I've asked this guy, can we change it to frames by B and C? Or,
Oh yeah.
how many
No
times-
way.
But he's like, no. But I'm like, yes.
As I said, like her face is very pretty. Like compared to mine, like not gonna lie,
Oh.
not gonna lie. Like with her a lot more. Like I don't know, she just got this. This approach that's easy to talk to.
Yeah.
Whereas with me, I think some people say that, like, with my face, sometimes I look scary, especially with kids. Because not only were we doing family photos, but we were also doing cake smashes for babies.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. So
Oh,
that's where
man.
it really went. It ended up family session. And because we'd had our, like, we were on the other side of the camera at one point where, we had a photographer.
Do you guys?
Yeah, do our photos.
Yeah.
And it just, like, at the end of it, the photos we were happy with, because it was us. Like, we finally had a family photo.
Yeah.
The experience that we had during the session, maybe not so much. We enjoyed, I think, but that definitely started a fire in us. And even when our firstborn had their photos done, like in those little kiosks in the shopping centers, we loved those photos.
Yeah.
But I think they ended up charging us like $1,000, and we sort of got trapped like, oh, if you don't buy it today, they'll get deleted. And we're like, damn it, like,
Yeah.
those ones.
There's things like that, right?
And we were like, man, we could do this ourselves.
Yes.
If,
Yeah, especially
especially
because with our people, us people in the South Pacific, I'll generalize it.
Yeah.
We don't have a lot of money, especially a lot of us. We're renting or we've got a lot of family duties to uphold, especially financially. So we were like, why don't we do it? But why don't we charge? Why don't we figure out some sort of way that we can charge them less and still give them quality and a good experience?
Yeah.
And so,
Man, that's mean.
Yeah. So
That's mean. I like that because you guys are drawing experience from your own experience, if that makes sense, right? You went through the experience, but then from there you're like, how can we do this for us, Because it hits different when you do it yourself.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? Like especially for your own kids, because you see other people take photos of your kids for you back then, right? Back then. But then now you're like, you have that capability or ability to do that now, that's really, really good. So it went from there, you guys kind of took that experience upon yourselves and like, oh, let's flip this and see how we run with it, eh? So was that a team effort there, as to how you guys would make this experience thing work for other people?
I think he started it and then passed that knowledge on to me. And then we ended up just being a package deal. He was on video, I was on photo, and it was just test and trial, eh?
Yeah.
Trial and error.
With
nice.
That's the thing I love about Australia and even New Zealand.
Yeah.
These are places of opportunity.
Big time.
So
big
bro,
time.
YouTube's free.
Yeah.
Shout out to YouTube, man. Without YouTube, I don't even think I'd have an ounce of knowledge that because like what Brooklyn said, I spent majority of my nights after a long day at work, 10, 12-hour shifts. I'd come home, spend time with dinner, and then when these guys are knocking out, I'm supposed to be asleep, but I'll spend 4 hours just researching, watching YouTube videos and seeing,
what works.
What camera this person uses, what camera these professionals are using.
This is cool because what I'm getting from here is you have a pretty onto it like understanding with
Yeah.
with YouTube, because I'm not knocking on anybody, but not a lot of people can understand YouTube as well.
Oh, true.
You know, like
Guilty.
like yeah,
That's
like
me.
yeah. And I think what it is like from what I understand, because everyone has different levels. So we understand things at different levels. We also listen and observe at different levels. Some people are like the basics of the basics. But for you, because your mentality is quite there, you can probably connect the dots. Some people can't really do that. So Nikon, so how long were you guys on the Nikon stuff for? Until, because you're Sony now, aren't you?
Yeah.
Yeah. So how long were you guys running on Nikon until you guys made the move to Sony?
We were on it for that first bit when we started.
Yeah.
So I'd say like that 3-4 months.
3-4 months, yeah.
Oh, yeah.
And we were doing just cake smashes and family sessions. And then we ventured and did that line marking business for 2 years. And then we came back and bought our Sony gear.
Ah.
Yeah,
so you went and worked for a little bit as well.
Yeah,
and then
for 2 years.
Yeah, and then that's
true.
why we've been doing it seriously for about a year.
Yeah.
But the 2 years before, we were doing the line marking business. And then, but we were doing photography first.
Yeah.
Yeah. Wow. So when you guys were starting to do the gigs, like you were saying, birthday smashes and that stuff, are these like other families? Like, are you guys, were these your friends, or how were you guys getting these gigs?
We started with our nephew Solomone. Shout out Solomone. He was our first cake smash. And shout out to my sister-in-law Malia and brother-in-law Ami for letting us practice with your child. And that's where it really started with our nephew Solomone.
Yeah. And did you film there as well?
No.
Or was this just...
It was the cake smashes.
Filming wasn't until Sony Games.
Yeah.
Oh, actually, no, until the end of when,
Yeah, so we started with the cake smashes, which led to birthdays, family events, family sessions, and then we ended up getting our first wedding.
Right. So you guys went along that type of route, like doing small events, eventually to a big event.
Yeah.
So a lot of our work actually came from word of mouth.
Yeah,
true.
Yeah, our poly community, man, they're awesome. You know,
solid.
We'll the poly community. I'd say we're probably one of the most supportive. We also can be the most unsupportive, not gonna lie, but like people were just referring us, and we had a cheap camera at the time, and they were like, yeah, we love this, but I think they more loved the experience. And then the experience made them love their photos, and then and then pretty much a wedding goes after cake smash. One of the ladies were like, hey, I've got a relative who's getting married. Do you guys do weddings? Yeah. And instantly I was like, yes, we do. With one like crop sensor Nikon. Oh man. Oh. But then luckily the wedding wasn't until after
tax refund.
After tax refund. I found a guy who was selling his selling his Nikon Z6 and Z7. And I think from the tax returns we both got, like we managed to get that with a couple of lenses, and then we went and did our first wedding.
Yeah, nice. And when was that first wedding? Do you kind of remember roughly when, or even the year?
I think it was still 2020.
Yeah, still 2020.
2020?
Yeah, or was it 2021?
I'd say it was 2020 probably.
Yeah. Nice. Because would you say transitioning from those type of events into a wedding, what was the wedding someone you knew?
No.
Really?
It was word of mouth, Yeah.
How did you feel then? How did you guys feel when you got your first wedding, when the person hit you up for it?
We were a little bit nervous.
She was really nervous. She was like, bro, how do we go from setting up people to do family photos and cake smashes where we can control it to doing a wedding that from start to finish, you've got to be onto it, because you're capturing someone's like special day.
It
only happens once. Well, supposed to, but you know what I mean. And like, she was nervous, but I was keen to learn. So then once again, stayed up all the nights watching videos, watching tutorials, and our first wedding, we were there at the door like. Okay, now we are both. Now instead of just her nervous, now I'm nervous too.
Hey, but you know what though? look, the beautiful thing of it is that you both go into it.
Yeah.
You know, like you're probably really nervous, but I'm sure a bit of that kind of brushed off because the fact you had him by your side,
Yeah.
regardless, you know. And it's so good to hear that you were the strong one. But then, you know, you
Strong
got
enough,
a little,
yeah.
got a little stint on the day, and then, but you know, you rebound off each other. Like that's I would say that's the special thing that comes with this when you do it together. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I think with anything really, but when you're doing it alongside your best friend, like you know, that's memories not as a personal like memory, but also a business memory. You
Yeah.
know, so like that's really encouraging to hear.
Yeah.
You know,
'Cause, like, not gonna lie, like we weren't like just like anyone else. We weren't the best, but
yeah,
one main key that we had to make this, you know, pretty much successful was that we mainly just like we had to have patience with each other,
Yeah.
especially with her, with me. Like, you know, if I'm the one researching stuff, I'm gonna be on the day. Like, you know, I'm gonna be like, oh, we need to do this, need to do that. You need to be here, you need to be there. We need to make sure we get this, that, and you know, all the while she's like, you know, trying to also watch everything going on.
yeah,
And
I think he's more like, because he absorbs information. Like he absorbed that
Yeah.
YouTube stuff, handed what he could down for me. But I'm a on the job learner.
yeah,
so
yeah.
Just
Two different, you know, already like two different
Yeah.
skill sets, right?
you know what-
and ways of working.
yeah,
And you know,
Yeah.
like when you have two different types of people, they clash.
yeah.
You know,
Yeah,
like I'm pretty sure any husband and wife clash, not even doing business at home. You know what I mean?
Hmm.
So for us to, yeah, like I would say, you know, we did have times where we did, you know, clash. But one thing we always had in the back of our mind was, it's not about us. We need to make sure that our client is getting the best, because that's what they paid us for and
Yeah.
trusted us. And
Yeah.
so we had to let go of our feelings and be like, let's look at the brighter side. We can keep moving on and work together. Otherwise, if we
Nice.
hold on to it, like, you know how
Yeah.
some couples, like, you know, they'll be like, oh, I need some time, I need to do this.
yeah.
You can't do that at a
We're
wedding,
both
eh?
like,
Exactly.
get over it. Let's
yeah,
move on.
yeah,
We
yeah,
have to.
exactly.
Like,
have to,
yeah.
yeah. Because with weddings, for me, because I have a day job as well. Do you guys still do day jobs, or this is your full time gig?
Oh, this is my full-time gig. And
It could be my full time, but I like to keep the photography money, reinvesting it back into gear, quality
Yeah,
gear.
yeah.
You know, but I work I work maybe like 2-3 days a week.
Yeah.
Monday to Thursday, and then, you know, my employer, like, they give me Friday, Saturday, Sunday off, and then
Oh, that's cool.
if I need time off,
Yeah,
you know,
yeah.
I just tell them, and they're like, yeah, sounds good, you go.
Yeah, nice. All right, man. That's a big number you guys have done. And I know I'm gonna veer off a little bit, but you guys even did like Sydney. So
Yeah.
you guys are already tapping interstate now.
yeah. Oh, we've been booked for New Zealand. We had 3 weddings in New Zealand this
Already?
year. Yeah.
Yeah, so we
Oh, international even.
yeah, no, so we,
that's
we
awesome.
We went to New Zealand 3 times this year, and then Sydney literally just like a fortnight ago.
Yeah.
And then pretty much from that one Sydney wedding, we've got like maybe 4 for next year, like already booked in.
In Sydney.
Yeah.
But not gonna lie, we don't really advertise much
Mm.
as we should, and a lot of it is because we like to keep our clientele like word of mouth, because like
It's working for you, right?
no, it's working, but the people that we've been working with, we've absolutely loved. You know, we've had
Yeah.
beautiful clients, considerate clients, and you know, and we find that word of mouth, you attract pretty much the same.
Yeah.
And a lot of it has been our Pollies and Kiwis, you know.
Yeah,
and,
yeah.
Not saying like anything about anyone else, but like a lot of our morals and values are also quite similar. So yeah.
So I'm just curious to know, like, what's some good feedback you've got from people?
Oh, we've had so much with, like I said, we've been so blessed with our clients. They've always had good things to say, like the experience.
Yeah.
They're grateful that not do we capture moments, but we actually help create them and prompt them to happen, you know. I think we've had so many gifts. Like one of my favorite gifts, one of our clients, they did a reaction video. Like they recorded themselves watching Charles's video and then sent it to us.
Our video.
Sorry, our video. And just watching their reactions, that's been one of my favorites. We've had people drop off, you know, like flowers, notes, brownies, just
even one of them gave us like an extra like $400.
Yeah.
Really?
So
Yeah.
we've been so blessed that
Man,
our
this is
clientele-
awesome.
Yep. And
And that just brings me back to like, you know, the experience you give your clients, you know, a lot of, and especially with our poly people and Kiwis, they always give back, you know, they're always like, how can I, like, you know, these guys put in so much effort. I love my stuff. They put in the effort. They made my day memorable. How can I gift them? And, you know, for us, it's always something either monetary or, bro, the food, the cookies, the flowers and gifts. People even drive out to us and give stuff. You know?
Wow.
the reactions is just so beautiful with, and we know how hard we can work, like doing the line marking business. We were gone for days, like working really, really hard.
Man.
And so we try and put that same energy into every single wedding. Like we give everything we can.
Man, word of mouth is powerful.
It is.
Because that's like a bit of an old school method, you know, from back in the day. That was the method back then. Word of mouth. And it's so nice for me to hear that it's still to this day still going for you guys.
I think a great place like that helps us get weddings is the Facebook wedding pages.
Oh, you guys are in that?
Yeah, so
Like part of those groups?
sometimes they'll just say, "Hey, we're looking for a photographer, or videographer," and like I'll just comment on it and just be like, "Hey, like this is what we do, this is what we offer, how much we charge if you want to book us in." We're happy to do that. So that's been a big help for us as
Yeah, I think
That's
giving
good.
some trade secrets. Sorry, but we like try
yeah.
not
had a
to
wedding,
gatekeep or anything.
we had a wedding. I mean, we had one wedding where a lady, her photographer dropped out literally on the
2
week
days
of it, 2 days
before.
before her wedding.
Yeah.
And I saw it and I instantly shared it to Brooklyn. And she got onto it, you know, messaged her and said, "Oh, look, you know, we understand, you know, you're needing a photographer. Would you like a videographer as well? Like, we also know that, you know, money might be tight. So, you know, we can give it a heavily discounted price." But the good thing was with that wedding, we had nothing on that weekend. So we were like, oh, it's free
We can
money.
squeeze it.
Yeah.
You know,
That's so
Free
good.
money. Yeah. And then we just pretty much just go, yep, let's do it. And yeah, and same thing, you know, she was very grateful that we not only came through, but the quality that we gave and stuff, she was like over the moon and stuff. And, you know, she wouldn't stop sharing our things. And pretty much she really, really like, you know, heavily appreciated not only the effort that we put on the day, but just being like what she was hoping for, if you know what I mean.
Yeah,
Like,
yeah.
with this wedding industry, I think sometimes, you know, it can be very financially benefiting. But one thing that me and Brooklyn try and veer away from is making money the priority.
Yes.
For us, like what you said, the priority is giving people those experiences and watching them be happy, because that makes us happy.
Yeah.
And then
yes.
right, the money comes after, you know.
We're all just human. Like we try and stay away from that corporate sort of feel. We just want them to know, hey, we're human. We're like, we're gonna do this. We understand. Obviously, yeah, like our business, it's important to us, but we know that people's special days, that's important to them too.
Yeah,
So,
exactly.
you know, we just try and be as human and as less corporate. But trust me, we'll get your shots though.
Yeah. Nice. That's really good.
Yeah.
Because I think sometimes it can be just a bit daunting, you know, like the thought of a photographer, videographer, they have to be professional.
Yeah.
But then once they meet us, or they'll probably see our portfolio, and then once they meet us, they're like,
Wait, what?
wait, these guys, they're cool. You know, they're chill. They're normal people. They have kids. They, you know, they love culture. They love, you know, they like to have fun.
Yeah.
But they can still push out this quality.
Yeah.
And then that's where we'll just like yeah, that's us. You know, hello.
So you guys doing all these weddings, that's quite full on. So like who behind the scenes, who's helping you with your families, like the kids and that, while you're away doing this?
We're lucky we have both sides of our family are here in Brisbane. So I've got my parents and we've also got Charles's mum and his siblings, and they're a massive help to us.
Yeah.
Like that's
Well,
really
without
good.
them, we'd like as you probably know, you can't ditch your kids somewhere for like 10 to 12 hours, sometimes more. And if you did, it would be very expensive for a babysitter. So lucky for us, we have our families who, they're so supportive, and they actually want to take care of our kids.
Yeah.
And they bro, we'll help them out, and we'll give a bit of a koha or some or food or something, or if there's food left over from a wedding, we'll bring some stuff.
Yeah.
But all in all, our sons even love it with our family members because of the love and the care they get taken care of.
Yeah.
So I've got to say, probably a massive reason as to why we've done so much is due to our families. Even in New Zealand, even in New Zealand, her family and my family all came through to help us out with our weddings.
Yeah.
And yeah, I've got to say, family is definitely a massive reason why.
Yeah. You guys are the real MVPs, man.
Thank you.
Hey,
Yeah,
big time. Like I
I'm
just
like,
took
who
it.
am I pointing
I
to?
took it. You guys over here. That's very different, eh? This pointing stuff. But you know what? Like I wanted to highlight that because I know for you guys because weddings are so busy. It's clutch when family come in. Yeah. And it's really nice for me to hear that they want to help.
Yeah.
I think that just adds like so much love for you guys extra on top of what you guys are doing, knowing that your kids are taken care of. Hey,
Definitely.
and we're able to to not have to think heavily on if our kids if
you go and your full focus is on the couple, right?
Weddings.
Yeah.
But even with our smaller sessions, like our family sessions or like just engagements or just any little family session, we just make our kids come. And they know. And even if there's other kids that
settled.
Yeah,
your boys are pretty settled.
Yeah,
You
they
guys
know.
raised them well.
I think when they do come with us, I'm happy they come with us to some of our little sessions.
Yeah.
Because I want them to know, like, mum and dad, yes, we're working,
I was gonna
but
say that,
you guys can, when they grow up, they're going to know they can go and do whatever they want to go and do as well. Like, and that if they have kids or whatever, they can still go and do what they want to do. So
that's beautiful. I like that you touched on that because you're like what you said. You're just opening their eyes to what work looks like in this generation. Because I know for me, I was brought up in the same way. I was always helping my dad, so I knew what work looked like. So with the weddings, like since you guys came into the weddings field, that's all you have been doing pretty much. Has there been other events that you guys have done, or is it just weddings lately?
So I would say our weddings cover like our wedding gear. So like sparklers, confetti, like new camera gear and lenses.
Yeah.
And then like we try and do community stuff like again the Mamana Academy and Ngā Manu, the Māori Kapahaka group. So we try and do like some community stuff, and then we have like our family sessions, engagement sessions and stuff like that. So we do other stuff, but our main focus and priority is weddings. And even
a lot of it's because like our gear is more equipped for wedding. Because as you know, the gear does matter, especially like you wouldn't take let's say you wouldn't take like an expensive camera to a family session or or like nature photography, sports photography. It's a whole different ballgame to weddings. So we don't really do sports or concerts or anything.
We have done it before. And we just know like weddings, that's our home.
That's it. Beautiful. So it makes sense because then you guys have invested in your gears for weddings specifically. Which is really nice to hear because like what you said, Charles, like the gear is expensive. And so you got to be very careful. Like you got to think in that type of thought. Like,
Yeah.
okay, what am I gonna actually pursue
Yeah.
and invest to that?
Yeah.
Yeah, because it's like what you said. Like every shoot's different. We might have some gears that can kind of cater to different lanes, but not fully.
Yeah.
If that makes sense, you know.
Yeah.
So yeah, man, shout out to you guys. That's awesome, man.
Thank you, bro.
We'll veer off now to like maybe some of the maybe like lessons that you've learned from the wedding space since you guys have been in there, because obviously there's a lot of goods. I've been through a lot of goods myself. When I was in the wedding space, I've also had a lot of lessons for myself. I'm just curious to hear what's some of the lessons that you guys have learned.
I think one big one for me was word of mouth is good, but you got to make sure they know what you're going to give. Like they got to know your portfolio. And like with Instagram, we probably post our best work on our Instagram, but look through the whole album. Like I want to call it a misunderstanding that I might have had, where I delivered the whole album and maybe it wasn't what they were expecting, but that's what I do. Like that, what was that called?
The style.
Or the effort that I put in did not drop. So I think it's important to make sure your clients know what they're going to get from you. That it is a whole day you're working together, and just make sure they know what you're going to give.
I'm just trying to think. I did have another question on the top of my head to kind of wrap it up on, but I forgot it now. I forgot it now. But all in all, with the goal of weddings in your mind right now, where is there an actual goal that you guys want to get to with this as your, like, what do you call it, like pathway, if that makes sense?
Like with my current work, it's I like my style at the moment. But there is a level I'm trying to get to with my photos, like Daru Studios from the UK, Karina I don't know if I say this right, but Karina Tipoti in Hawaii. I really love the work that they put out there. Of course, the OG John Branch,
John Branch the Fourth.
Yeah, John Branch the Fourth.
Wow.
That's probably my biggest tip. If you're actually starting out in wedding videography and photography, John Branch the Fourth. He will pretty much give you every information. He even tells you how to structure and do things. And a lot of our beginnings actually was thanks to him.
Nice.
So thank you, John Branch the Fourth.
Wow, that's cool.
So he was awesome. So I think like with our work, that's where I'm trying to get to. But yeah, what about you?
That's cool. Yeah, what about yourself, Charles?
I'm pretty crazy, eh? Like don't really have an end goal. Like I'll probably just do this until my saxophone career kicks off.
Hey, wow!
I'm actually serious. Like you guys heard it here first.
Wow.
Bro, I'm gonna tell you this right now. I was at we were recording Donnie and Arietta's wedding when they had theirs, and one sound band. Now I actually I was actually at a gig where one sound band was actually performing.
Yeah.
They were mint. And they were, oh man, you know what? You guys are inspiration, one sound band. You guys are inspiration.
You've sparked something.
So I actually played the saxophone back when I was in primary school.
Yeah,
but
true.
I gave that up to chase a rugby career. Oh, worst decision, let's go. No, so then and then when we had Donnie and Ari's wedding, one sound band, they had a saxophone player. And I was like, bro, how many saxophone players of Polynesian descent do you see actually like at an event?
Yeah,
bro, this guy was playing it beautifully, man. I don't know his name. I apologize for not knowing his name, but you're the man, saxophone man.
You're the man.
And so
message the man.
Teach me your skills, bro. Teach me your skills, bro.
After this.
Yeah. And so and then when I seen, the guy playing the saxophone, bro, it just gave me put me in my feels, let's just say.
Yeah, right.
And then and then I was like, you know what? I'm gonna go and buy a saxophone. I'm not gonna buy this lens. I'm gonna buy a saxophone. So thank you, man. And then ended up buying a Yamaha tenor sax, and pretty much been learning it for.
You did it?
Yeah.
Oh, did it? Actual? Oh,
Come on,
now I'm like,
you're the drums me.
wow. That's so nice to hear. Eh? See, for me, because I did my couple of years in the wedding space, and then now I wouldn't say like I've stopped it completely, because I still do get people asking. But I just kind of prioritize other things. For me now, it's just what I do for myself that I enjoy, if that makes sense. Yeah. And this is it. Like, I love podcast day. I love like sitting down and chatting like with people and just hearing what they've been through. You know what I mean? But weddings is what set me up for that.
Yeah.
So I'll always be grateful for weddings, because in my experience in weddings, I've never had a bad one. I can't really put my finger and say like this one was the one that made me want to quit weddings. Nah, I've never been to that point, if that makes sense. And I've loved everybody that I've been blessed to film on their wedding day. Like, shout out to all you guys. Shout out to all my couples from way back then, and even the ones that are not together anymore, but you know, I love all you guys.
Let's go.
But yeah, you know, like for me, that's the good that I take away from weddings. And if anything, I still to this day, I still encourage newbies to go into the weddings. Yeah, like I've said it before and I say it again. Like, to me, I believe like if I didn't go through weddings, I wouldn't grow as quick as I believe weddings was like a pressure cooker for me. Once I got in there, I had to learn, because you can't miss. You know, once they do their thing, that's it. On to the next. Like, so I learned from there. Like, once you get things, get them right once and once only. You know, and move on. So I'm forever grateful for that mentality, because it came from that. You know,
like you probably even say that weddings is probably one of the hardest things to actually do for creatives. So if you can do weddings, like what you said, you can pretty much opens so many doors to you to do anything.
Big time, yeah. Like, I believe so.
I've seen a few of the lads actually, start doing weddings and diving into music videos and into like the cinema side of things, and that's tougher than weddings.
Yeah,
you know what I mean. And like weddings is like what you said. You can't slack off when it comes to weddings.
Yeah.
And you can't just rock up to someone's wedding and be like, I didn't do any research or study or spend much money.
Yeah. Yeah.
That's why, like with weddings, like, weddings, wedding photography, they can be expensive for clients, but, pretty much, you should be getting what you pay for. Like, whereas if you want to get like, if you want to get your uncle on his iPhone and stuff, you'll get uncle on the iPhone. Whereas if you want to get Mark Bongo on his like, on his awesome camera setup right here, I can see like all this setup here, man. Hit him up, man. He's still doing it. He's one of the OGs of like, of the whole videography game. And it's actually crazy because a few of our clients were like, man, we were going to go with Mark Bongo first, but he's really busy. He's he said he's
I am busy. Right here, I'm busy.
And then like, but then at the same time, like, from these clients that, mentioned you and your skills, they said, oh, are you able to, to get us something similar to this? And then I'm like, I'm looking at your, at the stuff that they got. And I'm like, you know what? This is actually like wedding style videography. It's his style, like what you said before. It's his style, but I'll try and do what I can to like, get close to it.
But I've seen your stuff, man. Fire, it's good. I've really seen your videos.
Inspired by Mark Bongo.
Honestly, man. Man, I take my hat. Honestly, some of your stuff have been beautiful. Like the opener for Donnie's one. Oh my goodness, man. The beach.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's still here.
Thanks,
It's still
man.
here. Like, I love that. I think if anything, that's what you should aim for. Inspire others, right? And you're gonna do that for others. Guarantee, hands down, both of you are doing that for other people as well.
We hope so.
Yeah, I used to say that too. I hope so. Now I hear, now,
Yo,
like
let's
take
go.
it from me, like you definitely are for other people, both of you, eh? So, yeah, I think all in all, like, yeah, being in the wedding space, like it's such a beautiful space. Yep. Like from there, like you guys shared already, you can venture off to so many other avenues from weddings itself. Yeah. Not only do you learn how to the cameras and all of that stuff, you learn a lot about yourself. You build up your own character through going through that, right? Like you really do. In your guys' case, man, I'm pretty sure your relationship, has its moments, but then at the end of the day, look, like you guys are doing it together.
Yeah.
If I put it into perspective, if I had a chance to do something with my wife, I would.
Yeah.
I really, really would. Like, I would love to do something. So for me to see you two doing it together, honestly, it's so inspiring for me.
Thank
you.
Don't be scared to dive in with your partner. There will be times that you'll be tested, but just like with everything, you can everything will be fine, everything will be all right. Life moves on and you can do it.
Beautiful. Yeah. Nice, man. Nice to hear. Before we wrap this up, is there anybody you guys want to kind of like shout out to or highlight in this podcast, even people that have helped you along your journey, whatever it may be? Yeah.
Oh yeah, no. For me, will probably be my first actual couple for the videography gig. Haisini and Sunshine Masima. Those guys, they're pretty much what inspired me and Brooklyn to take it on full time. Because at the time I was doing it as a side, but they were like, "Nah, go full time." And then from then, they just kept referring people and kept kept on supporting us, and they've pretty much a massive reason. Also shout out to pretty much, once again, our families, our siblings, our parents, and even certain friends, anyone that's helped us, even our clients. Every single client that has used us has helped us. They may not know it, but they have, and we get to actually we actually not get to build a portfolio, but we build relationships too.
Yeah.
It's great to see that. And do you want to shout out?
I just want to shout out my own mom. Thank you so much for everything that you've done. My mother-in-law, she's 50 and she's a police liaison officer and she'd be serving everywhere. My big sister, who's grinding hard always, and also my sister-in-law Malia, who's studying nursing and has her 2 babies. You inspire me every day, ladies, and I love you guys so much. Thank you for being my rock.
Yeah, and also
awesome.
also once again, shout out to all the polys out there, giving it a crack and a go. Even shout out to like Mark Bongo, if you're listening. You're a big inspiration and a big help to a lot of us poly creators who are starting or on the come up. Big shout out to all our other wedding vendors as well, LeVay Photography and Videography. Even
the GOAT, Fang and Malcolm, bro.
Yeah, Fang and Malcolm.
Yes.
And also, shout out to my Fana Media. Those guys are like, they're capturing like everything. And, the amount of effort those guys put in is an inspiration to us.
Yes.
Nice.
Merame and also Vili. Shout out to Javier, Eli and Peter and their little family. They actually
helps kick us off.
They actually helped us kick us off with a lot of poly connections, because we did their family photos and pretty much like people were just like, hey, can you do ours? Can you do ours? And then from those family photos then linked weddings once again. Yeah. Like they didn't have to, we were nobodies at the time, but Eli was like, why not?
Nice.
So, shout out to them. Due to the nature of podcasts, I like to keep this a bit private and sacred, but shout out to God, for without anything that we do, we can't do without him. I know, it's for us Polys, God, for us Polys and Kiwis, God is a massive part. And a lot of our success, we dedicate, to him, and for the prayers that he's answered, because we were once praying for weddings and stuff, and he's always came in clutch with people, and a lot of those people were actually people of God as well. So the links were always there and mutual.
Nice.
So shout out to our Heavenly Father. We are probably all our success to him for making it possible.
Nice.
Yeah, no.
Man, awesome. Thank you so much. Again, shout out to Charles and Brooklyn for coming on. Frames by B. If you guys haven't already, I will drop all their social media handles in the description below. But yeah, I just want to again say thank you for coming on, especially having this time to come and like break bread with me over a podcast and open up on your guys' journey to people. And I know that this here will inspire people, because like I said, like this is my first year, my first husband and wife on my podcast. And and I can say if I have more, these guys they will always be the first. Always be the first I had on. But yeah, thank you so much, Thank you so much. And I wish you all the best on your guys' journey as you guys continue in this space and wherever you guys go with it. Yeah. But
likewise, bro. Thank you.
Thank you.
Yeah,
Thank you.
for having
Mark.
us.
That's us, fam.